guys, got an injury report for you. We got Anderson DMP, Everett DMP, Hopkins DMP, Inman DMP, Lucas DMP, Norris DMP. Same as yesterday with the move with Jaron Christian to IR being the only change. With that, we can open it up.
Yeah.
Fire away.
Nothing? All right.
All right,
Well,
well,
thanks. Oh, okay.
If Sam's not there, I'll go first then. Hey, Ron, because of the situation you're in with these, going through more walkthroughs and all that, how much does it help having a guy like Alex, who is a veteran, who can maybe help others in that situation?
Well, tremendously. We actually had a situation today during one of our periods. Alex started the call. He saw something and made the correction right away. And with his knowledge and his veteran leadership out there, we might not have made that correction. And so you see those things that he does, getting guys lined up or getting guys in the right position. That's important. That really is. And it helps those young guys, especially the young guys, because now they're learning, from a guy that's done it before.
And then with J.D. McKissick, he's obviously been a big target the last couple of games. I'm sure I don't know if that's a lot by design or more just by going through it, but how much for Alex looking for him, how much do you like having a running back with that many touches and the benefits of maybe getting through those progressions quickly to give him a chance to run?
Well, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for, a guy with JD's skill set that can do those types of things. Again, we are fortunate in Carolina to have Christian McCaffrey, and JD's a Christian McCaffrey type player. He can run the ball inside, outside. He's a threat most certainly out in the route, and he understands protections.
Hey, Ron, sorry about that. When you shift a guy like Morgan Moses from right to left, if that's how it shakes out, it's obviously he was there in practice today. Kind of how does that change either what the offense can do or how much does that change for him?
Well, really, the biggest change is going to be for him. We're going to do what we do and play the offense accordingly. And but the biggest thing for him is obviously it's getting used to the left-handed stance and getting used to the left-handed type players he's going to have to play against.
And for you, obviously you brought up Jeremy Reeves. Is he in consideration if DeShazer can't go at safety?
Yeah, he is, most certainly. Everybody's in consideration. We've got some ideas and some thoughts on how we need to do things, and we'll work through them.
Thank you.
With the Morgan Moses move, and we were asking you about Kendall Fuller, playing safety occasionally earlier this week. What's the calculus on that as a staff, where you've got a guy who is very good at one position, but there might be a need at another? How you decide whether that's a move you want to make or not?
Well, the biggest thing is you really don't have to move guys around, because every time you have to move guys around, you've got to bring another guy in. So that means 2 new guys at 2 new positions. So as little as possible, movement is better than having to move a whole bunch of guys.
You've had David Sharp on the roster for a couple months now. What type of things are you working on with him, and what did you see in his brief playing time against Detroit?
Well, I like what we saw from his playing time. I thought he was physical. He's a big guy, good length, good size. He's tough to get around, and we saw a lot of positives. So just feel very fortunate to have him as one of our guys.
Hey, Ron. Every year, every team comes into a season with question marks with the rotation or lineup or what have you. I'm wondering at this point in the season, what are some areas you feel a lot better about than you did at the beginning of the year as it relates to the big picture that you're trying to achieve here?
Well, feel really comfortable with what we've gotten from our wide receivers and our running backs. I think that's been a very pleasant thing. I like the play of our corners. I thought those guys have done a nice job coming together as a group. I think, as we continue to go through this, we'll see guys continue to develop. Some guys have developed faster. Some positions have developed faster than other positions.
And on the flip side, is there an area that you look at, and maybe it's a position or something else that you think that you maybe misidentified at the beginning of the year?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Care to elaborate on that?
Nope.
All right.
Hey, Ron, removing kind of the NFC East race from it, you've talked about your guys needing to figure out how to learn to win late in these games.
Yep.
With back-to-back comebacks to just fall short, how important is it to get a win? Like, how big will that next win be?
Be huge. It really will. Emotionally, it'll be huge. I think it's one of those things that, the guys, they for their hard work and their commitment and their sacrifices deserve stuff like that. They deserve big wins. So, I'd like to see us win as many as we can, but we'll try and figure out how to win this next one coming up.
And then just on the defensive side of the ball, with the injury with DeShazer, if he has to miss a significant amount of time, does that maybe change things with calling Eric Reed, or is that ship kind of sailed at this point after the practice squad offer?
No, I don't think that ship is necessarily sailed. We'll see what happens. I mean, again, as I told you guys, we got some young guys and we want to watch, and we can go forward from there.
Thank you.
Hi, Ron. With so many changes on the offensive line this season, just because of injury or whatever, how do you think that group as a whole has handled it, just in terms of continuing to develop?
I think they've handled it very well. I really do. And if you look at the yards we've thrown for the last couple of games, how we're starting to develop and get that feel, I think that's important. We're learning to run block. We're learning to get a feel and understanding of how to. And again, I think part of it also goes back on how our tight ends and backs have played as well.
And one more follow-up on Morgan Moses. If he does have to move to the other side, is that pretty common anymore for starters? I know a lot of the reserves, there has to be, swing tackles or whatever, but how difficult is it for a starter who's been more entrenched on one side?
Well, Morgan's a pretty good athlete, so I'm not necessarily concerned about it for him. But we'll see. I mean, he started out as a left tackle. They moved him to the right where he got comfortable, but he has left tackle skill sets. So we'll see how he does.
Heather? If not, Scott?
Hey, Ron, I think Parcells said this back in the day. You are what your record says you are. But when you go back and look at the tape and look at how this team has played this season, do you think this team is much better than a 2-7 team that you see?
Oh, I do. I most certainly do. But what they say, you are what you are, and so the record says it. That's what we are. But we'll continue to play, and we'll play hard, and we'll see what happens. But do I think we're better than our record? I most certainly do.
Why is that? I mean, why?
Well, we've had 3 weeks, 3 games where we've been very close, and a play here or call here. It's a different set of circumstances. And I just feel that we're a group of young guys that are growing and developing with some veteran guys out there. And as we continue to go forward, if we continue to play this way, I think the future bodes well. And that's the way I look at things. I'm an optimistic guy, Scott. I'm an optimistic guy.
We can appreciate that.
We'll take 3 more.
Hey, Ron. Besides Joe Burrow, which is the obvious, what else worries you about this Cincinnati Bengals team? Is it the fact that they're just a young team and maybe they don't know any better sometimes and they just stay around because they're young and resilient, or is there one other thing that maybe worries you a little bit more?
Well, I just know this. I like their offensive line. Those guys work hard to protect their quarterback. They work hard to open up running lanes. I like their skill personnel. I think they've got good tight ends that are troublesome. I like the receiving core led by AJ. I think that most certainly is one of the strengths of their offense. I like the running game that they do have. And as you said, I think Joe Burrow is going to be a terrific player in this league. I really do. Defensively, they're very aggressive. They can blitz at any time, and they will zero blitz you from anywhere. So again, I think this is a young football team that again, and then maybe they don't know any better. They just go out and compete, and sometimes that's a good thing.
2 more.
Thanks, Ron.
Yep.
Ron, with J.D. McKissick, and we've kind of talked about his pass protection, but being one of the better running backs in that regard, and Antonio Gibson's still learning that element. I guess I'm curious, where have you seen him either help him or just in practice he's witnessed what JD does to take from that? I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah.
About that.
Oh, most certainly. First of all, he and JD have a nice relationship. They really do. I think all the running backs do. I think they're a good group, and they do feed off of each other's energy and the way each other does things. And you can see it from Antonio, as he studies those guys and watches those guys during practice, I think Randy does a really nice job, communicating with his crew of running backs. And I think those guys do learn. I think with AG, it's just a matter of time as he continues to get reps and develops his skill set.
Thank you, Ron.
You're
Got
welcome.
time for one more.
Hey Ron, just kind of curious about Dwayne. Now that this is like the meetings are kind of all virtual and you guys kind of have to alter your preparation with these COVID protocols, is there a way you can still measure that growth, or when it comes to him, like his preparation, how do you kind of measure that with all the adjustments you guys have had to make?
Well, one of the nice things is that with the way the meetings can be set up, we've done something special for the quarterbacks, and those guys have handled it very well, and it's been good to watch.